各位记者朋友，大家下午好。
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. First, I have three announcements. At the invitation of Russian Prime Minister Mishustin, Premier of the State Council Li Qiang will attend the 24th meeting of the Council of Heads of Government of Member States of the SCO in Moscow on November the 17th and 18th. At the invitation of the government of the Republic of Zambia, Premier of the State Council Li Qiang will pay an official visit to Zambia from November the 19th to the 20th. At the invitation of the government of the Republic of South Africa, Premier of the State Council Li Qiang will attend the 20th G20 summit in Johannesburg from November the 21st to the 23rd. Now the floor is open.
谢谢发言人。总台国广记者。
You just announced that Premier Li Qiang will attend the 24th meeting of the Council of Heads of Governments of Member States of the SCO. What's your comments on the developments of the SCO? What's your expectation for this meeting? The SCO Tianjin Summit was held successfully this fall. Leaders of SCO member states reached a series of important common understandings on carrying forward the Shanghai spirit and promoting the development and reform of the SCO, leading the SCO into a new stage of high-quality developments featuring greater solidarity, coordination, dynamism, and productiveness. President Xi Jinping put forward the Global Governance Initiative, which was welcomed and supported by parties attending the summit and widely recognized by the international community. At this meeting of the Council of Heads of Government, Premier Li Qiang will have in-depth exchange of views with all parties on implementing the outcomes of the SCO Tianjin Summit, strengthening solidarity and coordination in the SCO, and deepening regional economic and cultural cooperation. China believes that this meeting will sustain the positive momentum of the SCO Tianjin Summit, promote the implementation of the development strategy for the SCO in the next 10 years, better safeguard the common interests of member states, and inject more positive energy into regional and world peace, stability, development, and prosperity. Next one, please.
您好，新华社记者提问：中方刚刚发布了李强总理将出席20国集。
To follow up on your announcement that Premier Li Qiang will attend the 20th G20 summit, can you share China's expectation for the summit? Amid rapid changes in the world not seen in a century, sluggish global economic growth, and widening development deficit in the world, the G20 as the premier forum for international economic cooperation needs to enhance solidarity and cooperation, jointly respond to challenges, improve global economic governance, and contribute to world economic growth and the development and prosperity of countries. It is of historic significance that the G20 summit is held on the African continent for the first time. China supports South Africa's G20 presidency and stands ready to work with various parties under the theme Solidarity, Equality, Sustainability to build up consensus at the summit for upholding multilateralism, building an open world economy, and promoting cooperation on development. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。李明光读。
Kyoto News. The Consul General of China in Osaka, Xue Jian, issued a post on social media. In response to this, Japanese Foreign Minister told reporters that Japan continued to strongly urge China to take appropriate measures to avoid affecting the overall direction of Japan-China relations. What is China's response to this?
我此前已
I stated China's position earlier. Let me stress again that the post by the Chinese diplomat to Japan is a response to the wrongful and dangerous remarks that attempts to separate Taiwan from China's territory and peddle armed intervention in the Taiwan Strait. Japan needs to reflect on its wrongful remarks on Taiwan instead of creating confusion and shifting blames.
下一个。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。人民日报记者提问：日本首相高市早明
People's Daily. Sanai Takaichi said earlier that armed operation from the Chinese mainland to Taiwan may constitute existential crisis to Japan, and at the Diet she said that she has no intention to take that back or cancel it because it is inconsistent with the opinion of the Japanese government. What's your comment? Takaichi at the Diet made provocative remarks on Taiwan, implying the possibility of armed intervention into the Taiwan Strait. Despite the serious démarche and strong protests from China, she stubbornly refuses to take that back. The wrongful remarks seriously violates the One China principle, the spirit of the full political documents between China and Japan, and basic norms in international relations, grossly interferes in China's internal affairs, and challenge China's core interests, and infringes upon China's sovereignty. China firmly opposes that and will never tolerate it. Japan must immediately correct that and take the egregious remarks back. Otherwise, all consequences must be undertaken by Japan. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People War for resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War, and the 80th anniversary of the restoration of Taiwan. Japan, during its colonial rule over Taiwan, committed numerous crimes. Japanese militarists in the past have launched wars of aggression against other countries, citing existential threats, including the September the 18th incident in 1931 under the excuse of exercising self-defense, thus provoking the war of aggression against China. This has brought untold sufferings to people in China, in Asia, and beyond. Today, by citing again the existential crisis, what does Takaichi really wants to do? Is she trying to revive the militarism? Is she trying to again becoming the enemy of the Chinese people and Asian people? Is she trying to subvert the post-World War II international order? Taiwan is China's Taiwan. How to resolve the Taiwan question and realize national reunification is the own affair of the Chinese people that tolerates no external interference. The Japanese policymakers' attempts to intervene in the affairs in the Taiwan Strait. This constitutes an affront to international justice, provocation to international order, and a heavy blow to China-Japan relations. If Japan dares to make any armed intervention into the Taiwan Strait, that will constitute an aggression, and China will respond in a resolute way. We will resolutely exercise the right to self-defense enshrined in UN Charter and international law, firmly defend its national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Our advice to Japan is that it must deeply reflect upon its historical crimes, immediately stop interfering in China's internal affairs and provocative, wrongful moves and remarks, and stop crossing the line. Stop playing with fire on the Taiwan question, because those play with fire will get burned. Next one, please.
谢谢。深圳卫视直新闻记者提问：据报道，11月10号，泰国士兵在泰检边。
Shenzhen TV, it's reported that Thai soldiers were injured by landmines at the border area with Cambodia, and Thai announced that it will halt the peace deal with Cambodia on the border issue. And on the afternoon of the 12th, Thai soldiers opened fire near the province of Cambodia, was China's comment. China noted some new developments and issues cropping up during the implementation of the joint declaration between Thailand and Cambodia. As the two countries' close neighbors, we hope that both sides can exercise restraint, work in the same direction, carry out friendly consultation, give full play to the existing bilateral mechanisms, and find a solution as soon as possible that is acceptable to both sides and address both symptoms and root causes of the issue. China will continue to play a constructive role in promoting de-escalation in our own way. Next one, please.
During the King of Spain's visit to China, the heads of state of the two countries met and reached multiple common understandings. What's China's comment on this visit? How does China view the bilateral relations and high-level exchanges in the next stage?
King of Spain, His Majesty Philip VI, paid a state visit to China as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of China-Spain Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. President Xi Jinping met with him and they reached extensive common understandings, injecting strong impetus to the development of the bilateral relationship. Premier Li Qiang and Chairman Zhao Laoji also met with the king. The two heads of state agreed to carry forward traditional friendship, consolidate political mutual trust, firmly support each other's core interests and major concerns. Spain stays committed to the One China principle, the One China policy, and stands ready to be the reliable partner of China. The two countries always support each other with mutual respect and equality, and jointly work for the progress of China-Spain Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, which will bring more benefits to the two peoples and contribute even more to world peace and stability. The two heads of state agreed to deepen practical cooperation and people-to-people and cultural exchanges, and build a more China-Spain Comprehensive Strategic Partnership with more strategic resolve, more impetus for development, and more international influence. In the past 2 decades, with closer cooperation, bilateral trade grew by 4 times, demonstrating strong impetus of the development of the bilateral relationship. The two sides agreed to further dovetail development strategies, expand cooperation in trade, investment, and sci-tech, tap on new potentials in emerging areas such as new energy, digital economy, and AI, facilitate cross-border travel, and build more highlights and drivers in practical cooperation. During the visits, more than 10 cooperation documents were signed in trade, sci-tech, and education. The two heads of state agreed that China and Spain share similar positions on many international issues. We all advocate multilateralism and supports dialogue and consultation in addressing disputes, and supports UN's central role in international system. Spain spoke highly of the 4 initiatives proposed by President Xi, stands ready to close multilateral coordination with China, jointly uphold international trade order, promote economic development in the world, and jointly address the uncertainties in the international landscape. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters.
路透社，北京高级人民法院驳回了关于董玉玉的上诉。有批评称该判决是不公正的。而且中方拒绝董玉玉和其家人团聚，中方对此有何回应？ We have made a response on this case before. Let me stress that China upholds the rule of law. Chinese judicial authorities handle cases in strict accordance with the law, and those who violate the law will surely be held accountable in accordance with the law. Next one, please.
发言人总台央视记者提问：12号，美国务院发言人就高市早
CCTV, the U.S. State Department spokesperson, in a response to Takaichi's Taiwan contingency remarks, said that the U.S. is committed to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait, opposes any unilateral change of status quo, and supports the dialogue between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. It hopes that disputes can be resolved in a peaceful way that is acceptable to both sides. What's your comment? Regarding Takaichi's wrongful remarks, China has made clear its serious position. Let me stress again that the Taiwan question is at the core of China's core interests. It is the first red line that must not be crossed in China-U.S. relations. How to resolve the Taiwan question is the own affairs of the Chinese people that brooks no external interference. We urge the U.S. to abide by the One China principle and the 3 China-U.S. joint communiques, stop aiding and abetting Taiwan independent separatist forces, and stop undermining China-U.S. relations and peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Next one, please.
A question from AFP.
法新社，你提到李强将出席在南非的 G20 峰会，这是否意味着习近平主席不会出席？
发布了。
I just announced that Premier of the State Council Li Qiang will attend the 20th G7 summit. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。中新社记者提问：中方刚刚发布了李强总理将
China Review News to follow up on your announcement that Premier Li Qiang will pay an official visit to Zambia. How does China view its relations with Zambia, and what is China's expectation for the visit? Zambia is a comprehensive strategic cooperative partner of China in Africa. Over the past 61 years of diplomatic relations, the two countries have developed bilateral ties under the principles of mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefit, and the friendship has grown stronger over time. In recent years, under the care and strategic guidance of President Xi Jinping and President Hichilema, bilateral relations have maintained robust developments with solid mutual trust and fruitful cooperation outcomes. China looks to working with Zambia through the visit to accelerate the implementation of the important common understandings between the two presidents and the outcomes of the FOCAC Beijing summit, deepen political mutual trust, expand mutually beneficial cooperation, promote common development, have closer communication and coordination on international and regional affairs, and make greater contribution to building an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. Next one, please.
Question from AFP.
法新社，印度排名第1的网球球员称，他将于本月在成都将参加澳大利亚公开赛，外卡附加赛，他的中国签证被拒绝。那么中方为何拒绝他的签证？China will review visa applications and issue visas to athletes of all countries, including India, for participation in sports events in China in accordance with laws and regulations. We hope relevant person will submit application materials in time according to the requirements of the embassy. Next one, please.
谢谢。日本 NHK 记者提问。刚才
NHK Reuters just asked a similar question. The Higher People's Court of Beijing made a second instance judgment on Dong Yuyu, former deputy director of the Common Department of Guangming Daily, for espionage. In the first instance judgment, the court accused a Japanese diplomat who had a contact with Dong Yuyu of being an agent of a spy organization. The Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs lodged protests with the Chinese side on this matter, saying that the activities of the Japanese diplomats fall within normal official duties. So what is China's response to today's sentence? Does the Foreign Ministry also think that the Japanese diplomat is an agent of a spy organization? China upholds the rule of law. Chinese judicial authorities handle cases in strict accordance with the law, and those who violate the law will surely be held accountable in accordance with the law. Next one, please.
Thank you. A question from RIA Novosti.
七国集团外长昨天表达了对中国军力增长和核武库的迅速增长的关切。 他们敦促北京方面展示其维护稳定的承诺，中方对此声明有何评论？
你提到了
You just mentioned the joint statement of the G7 foreign ministers meeting. Let me respond to that. The joint statement of the G7 foreign ministers meeting represents once again a mischaracterization of facts, a deliberate vilification of China and a gross interference in China's internal affairs. China deplores and firmly opposes that. Let me stress that the Taiwan question is purely China's internal affair. How to solve the Taiwan question is a matter for the Chinese people that tolerates no external interference. The current situation in the East China Sea and the South China Sea is generally stable. The G7 should stop using maritime issues to stoke disputes, escalate tensions, and undermine regional peace and stability. On the Ukraine crisis, China has always been above board on this issue. China has never provided lethal weapons to any party to the conflict and strictly controls the export of dual-use articles. We never accept the G7's blame-shifting or groundless accusations against China. As regard to peace and security, China is the major country with the best record. China is firmly committed to the path of peaceful development and a national defense policy that is defensive in nature. China keeps its nuclear strength at the minimal level required by national security. However, the G7 turns a blind eye to the U.S. nuclear disarmament responsibility and the nuclear proliferation risks from AUKUS while directing the issue at China. This is typical move of confusing right with wrong. China's measures to standardize and refine its export control system comply with international common practices and aim to better defend world peace and regional stability and to fulfill its international obligations. The so-called China's overcapacity and non-market practices have been proven false by facts and have no merits at all. The G7 needs to stop politicizing and weaponizing trade issues, to refrain from disrupting international economic order and global industrial supply chains. We once again urge the G7 to see clearly the global trend, abandon the Cold War mentality and the ideological bias, stop manipulating issues related to China, stop interfering in China's internal affairs, and make more contributions to solidarity and cooperation in the international community. Next one, please.
大家还有其他问题？
Anything else?
好，那
Then let's call it a day. Thank you for coming.